Hello, KGC audience and viewers. Today I am joined by one of the legendaries in country music. He's been a part of Alabama for a lot of years now, and we're going to chat with him about Alabama, how he got the gig with Alabama. But before we get into it, let me tell you about a giveaway I've gone on. We're partnering with my friends at Spider Grip, David Britt, and those guys out there. You guys have a chance to win one of these. All you have to do is comment who you want to see on in the new year, and with the connections I have, I could probably make it happen. Please make welcome to the show my good buddy, the legendary Kimo Forrest. What's up, buddy?
Oh, you don't want to throw around that legendary too much, man. But I do want one of those spider grip things. That's awesome. How do I? So I'll have to comment on this video who I want to see, right?
Well, in a couple of videos, I'll let you know. But yeah, what I'll do is if you guys really want one, the announcer will be the winner will be announced on January 17th. I'm not even sure if that's a podcast day, but it will be. So stay tuned to my social medias for that: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for your chance to win one of these. All you have to do is just comment who you would like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and more information on that. But enough of the promotion deals. Kimo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. I'm here talking to a cool dude, and as you can see, it's Christmassy around the old compound here. So we got the tree in the background. So and I guess not only do we celebrate Jesus' birthday, we celebrate Caden's birthday too around that time, don't we?
Yes, sir. My birthday is the day we will release this, which is December the 23rd. So,
Woo-wee.
Happy birthday, Jesus, and thank you for the greatest gift on planet, and that's salvation in my podcast.
Amen.
But Kimo, I want to talk to you a little bit about how you came to be with the Alabama boys.
Sure, man. I came to Nashville in 1992. I believe 92, 93, somewhere around there. It all gets kind of hazy. And I was playing locally here back on Printer's Alley, which used to be the really happening place when you wanted to get down here. And, you didn't go down to Broadway when I moved here. It was dangerous. But Printer's Alley, and I met a fellow named, I was playing at a club called Barbara's, and I met a fellow named Mark Ledger who came in, and he was the band leader for Jeff Cook, the guitar player for Alabama. He had a side band called The Chosen Few. You've heard of JC and The Chosen Few, like that's what they talk about in that song Tar Top and stuff. So he liked what he heard, and he asked me to come play with him. So I toured with them for quite a while, and then through Mark Ledger, I had met another fellow named Mitch Glenn, who I was doing a project on. And well, Jeff Cook, actually, he would come in and sit in, anytime he was off, he'd find out if we were playing close somewhere in some club, and he'd just show up with his guitar and want to do a bar gig or a nightclub, away from all that stuff. I mean, nobody loved to play more than that guy. And so I got to meet him, which was a huge thrill. I mean, they set my world on fire, basically. I mean, he's the reason I play guitar. So it was just, a surreal experience. And I'm just so blessed to have that gig. But to get back to your question, was touring with The Chosen Few, met Jeff Cook, and then he found out that I was a producer because I was producing this Mitch Glenn project, and he came in and sang backgrounds on a song for him, and then Jeff always did his own solo projects. So we started that relationship probably 95, 96, and I had recorded all of his, produced, engineered, and played on all of his solo albums, which you can find. I'm pretty sure it's all on Spotify, but and all that stuff. So I recorded all of those years, and then they left the road in 2004. They had their farewell tour, and then we had the tornado that came through Alabama in 2010, I believe is what it was. And during those 10 years prior, I was playing with John Michael Montgomery, and then about 2010, that had run its course. John had started pulling back and wanting to base his band out of Kentucky and stuff. So all the Nashville guys, most of them, we got let go. And then maybe a month later, I was sitting with Jeff in the studio. We were recording his album. He said, "Hey, we're going to get back together and do this benefit, and we got a couple other things going on. Did you want to join Alabama?" And I mean, what am I going to say? I mean, it's like, absolutely, But at first, I said, "What does it pay?" Just to be funny, because Jeff was he always had the joke. He was always the funniest guy in the room. So, and I've been there. Let's see, we started that up. That was 2011, and I've been there ever since. I started. We did our first gig out after that benefit was a private party, and at that private party there was Aerosmith was there, Mitt Romney, all the NASCAR guys. It was crazy. I'm like, this gig is awesome. What I mean? We're playing stuff like this, and oh gosh, it's just been a great ride. I mean, I'm so blessed. It's not lost on me the importance that they've had over not just our genre, but music in general, and the impact that they had. I know what the impact they had on a 16-year-old boy just starting to play guitar. So, and to find out after all these years, I mean, coming up on 12 years here, this will be, well, let's see, yeah, 12 years. And it's always just amazing where you can see the crowd, and it is loaded with nostalgia. There's so much good. Those were just great times that we all shared as fans, and to see those people relive those feelings. And I mean, I think that's why it just keeps rolling on. It never stops, because people don't get tired, because the music, it was the soundtrack of our lives. There wasn't anybody our age, or even through the generations, through their parents or grandparents, that haven't been touched by an Alabama song. So it's huge. I'm blessed to have that position. I do my best to carry on Jeff's tradition, and Teddy and Randy are just still amazing. The rest of the band is just incredible. It's the most talented group that I've ever been in. It's an embarrassment of riches. I mean, we're just from Jason Roller to Megan Mullins Owen to Gordon Moat, Tommy Harden, Charles English, Chip Davis. I mean, these are all people that Steve Peffer. These are all people that, in their own right, are huge session players, or they have their own acts outside of that, and we all get together and we get to celebrate this wonderful music, and we get to call it a job. It's just incredible. Look, I'm still pinching myself. I'm getting goosebumps after 12 years. So, that's the short answer.
I hope every answer is like that answer, man. But I want to do two things. Number one, I want to dedicate this podcast to Jeff Cook and his family. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
Jeff, you were taken from us way too soon, man. And I know you're smiling down. And I also want to dedicate this podcast to my grandmother. Her last concert was an Alabama concert.
Wow.
And I came about to hear Alabama from my grandmother, and I've always loved me a good Alabama song, whether it be Roll On 18-Wheeler or Mountain Music. And you were talking about how those songs have had a test in time. Do you think that they are more relevant now these days than it ever was back in those crazy 80s?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up in the 80s. It was I'm an 80s child, so it's such. I think that there is a a national longing or something for what we would consider simpler times. Even though we had the threat of nuclear war hanging over our heads and all of that stuff, it just seemed there was an innocence that I think we all perceived probably from our young age, and as we grew up, they were just a part of it, and they were such they were small town kids. I mean, I was from rural Northern California. I mean, there were 5 kids in my 8th grade graduating class. So, I mean, yeah. So we're really rural, and to think that these kids who had the same love for music as my friends and I did, that they could achieve the heights that they did. It just, but yes, I think the music stays relevant because there's so many positive memories and positive things attached to that for us as a population.
What is your favorite Alabama song to play? You look down at the set list and you know it's on the set, and obviously it might have to be a hit, but if it's my favorite Alabama song that we're in the Christmas season, it's Christmas in Dixie.
Oh,
You know,
everybody does. Yeah, that's a great
that's
song.
that's a Christmas song that is a tradition to be played at Christmas time, and
Mhm.
Jason Aldean just did an amazing rendition of it.
He did.
But what's your favorite Alabama song to play?
Boy, I'll tell you, I've when we started out, it's hard to say because I go through phases in my life, and when you're playing the meat and potatoes of the show, like I said, I've been playing those songs now for 12 years. But before that, growing up, I've been playing those songs since they came out, because we my high school band that I mean we would play albums. Like we wouldn't just learn the single. I mean, we like when Roll On came out, we learned that album from Roll On to the very last song, and we would go we would play the album. It's so funny. And so if I could just put it down to a favorite song, gosh, it's hard to say. I'm real partial to the ballads, those famous ballads. I mean, I love You've Got the Touch. That's fun to play. Take Me Down, of course, written by the Exile guys. J.P. Pennington wrote that song. That's still, I mean, that's one of my favorite songs. It was just it really was revolutionary when it came out. It was like there was nothing like that sound on the radio or anything happening in country music. And just to have that, I mean, we have the sexy songs from T.G. Shepherd and Conway Twitty and stuff, but I mean, just to be presented in the fashion that Take Me Down was, it was like, oh my gosh, so that's probably easily one of my favorites to play. I love playing Christmas in Dixie. That's just when that chorus comes around, I almost cry every time. It just there's like I said, there's so much. It's just dripping in nostalgia. Yeah, and let's see. I also like their little run that they had in when they came back in the '90s with "I'm in a Hurry." That's always a great song. "Reckless." Here We Are. Those are all fun songs to play too. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, 43 #1 songs, and then you've got the album cuts. There were so many album cuts that I loved, like The End of the Line, Down on Longboat Key. I mean, those are just wonderful, wonderful songs. And I mean, I go deep cuts on those. I'm pretty much a
You
Alabama
know,
fanatic from the classics.
I love Alabama. Randy and Teddy. I've tried to get Randy on the show. I've gone as far as trying to reach out to his farm people and say, "Hey, let me get Randy," but I never heard back. But I want to talk to you about what it's like being on the road as X amount of dates. That's a brotherhood. That's a friendship on those buses. Does it ever get tired for you to hop on that bus and say, "Hey, man, I'm ready to go play"? Does it ever get tired when you're out for 2 weeks straight?
Well, thankfully, Alabama is a legacy heritage act, and they've already done all that. They planted the foundation. They went out there, did all the hard work. They did the 300 dates a year, slugging it kind of thing. So we leave generally on a Thursday night, and we'll be back come Sunday. And so we all have lives outside of the band. But when you talk about a brotherhood, it definitely is. You know, I mean, as we travel down the road, it really is a family. They call it the Alabama family. I mean, Megan, she just had her baby last year. Well, she's over a year old now, Miss Elizabeth, and she travels. You know, she travels with us. We have two different band buses, and half the band rides one bus, and the other half ride the other. So, but yeah, they're some of my closest friends in the world. Jason Roller, Gordon Moat, and myself and Steve Peffer, we ride one bus. And then on the other bus is Charles English, Chip Davis, Megan, and yeah, but we're all very close. And yes, we do spend a lot of time together. We're all older. So and we've all made our lives play music on the road. So we're past that whole. I mean, I remember, you know, when I first started touring, it's just like, you know, sensory overload. You're so excited, you just can't help, and you're just crazy, and you're doing ridiculous stuff, and when you get to, I mean, I'm 56, and most of I mean, the youngest person in the band is Megan, and she's in her late 30s, and Jason's 40. So I mean, and Megan and Jason both have been touring since they're Megan was on the road at 3 years old. You know, I've been on the road seriously getting paid as a musician since I was 15. So we have a lot of life on the road behind us. So this really truly, we all see it as a gift, as a blessing. We love each other in the band. Teddy and Randy are such great bosses, and we try to be great ambassadors to the music and have the integrity to play the songs. Like, you know, look at how great I am. That doesn't happen. You know, we all, because we know what the legacy is. We know how important that music is, and Teddy is a great steward of that. You know, I mean, he really wants it to be as great as it possibly can. You know, so I mean, he's just like the bass player in the band. Oh, a lot of times, you know, I mean, he loves hanging out with us. We're all really close knit. Randy's got a huge weight on his shoulders, you know, so he carries a lot of that. So he rests most time during the day and doesn't really, because you know he's even older than I am. You know, so it's not an easy life. The travel, there's no doubt, but you won't get in any crying or whining or anything from us. You know, I mean, when you're riding in a tour bus that's bigger than a lot of people's houses, and then you're getting 3 squares a day, you know, provided to you, it's tough to complain about that. And I try to keep that perspective, and I think we all do. And but yeah, we are a family. I mean, right to management and everything. It's just a close, tight knit group of people that enjoy each other, and we enjoy the music, and we all realize the huge blessing that it is.
And I bet you realized a long time ago that you guys really do need each other. And so you pulled together as a true team. And I can't imagine, you know, the stories that you guys have, you know, with each other. You know, I know Gordon, I love Gordon Moat. He is,
Oh my goodness.
you talk
Yes.
about a piano genius.
Oh yeah.
That man never stops to amaze me. But and I would love to talk to Gordon, man.
Yeah.
That's a guy who I think every podcast interviewer should interview is Gordon
Oh
Moat.
boy, I'll tell you what, too. He is a wonderful human being. I mean, beyond just being, you know, incredibly gifted and probably the finest piano player of our generation. I mean, I'll go to the mat on that. You know, I have no qualm saying that he just oozes music. It just comes out of every pore in his body, and he is just the sweetest man you'll ever meet.
Yeah, man. And I want to finish this up by saying if you have any advice for the young people out there that are willing to make a sacrifice, because the road is a sacrifice. Yeah, I know that in Alabama's early days, they missed out on a lot of weddings and stuff like that. It's a
You bet.
sacrifice. So if you could give them any piece of advice on how to maintain good energy and positive motivation during a time where you're away from your family so much, what would it be?
Well, you just touched on it right there. It really is a mindset of positivity. You have to, perspective is so important. And it's who you surround yourself with. I mean, life will put you in places. I mean, the Lord will have you in different spots at different times for whatever reason. But I mean, if you try, if you're not, well, it's, you just really have to stay positive and be a light and not get caught up in all of the side stuff. And if the music is in you, it's got to come out. So I mean, chase it passionately and positively. I mean, that's an important step, because it really is easy, because it is a grind and it will chew you up, and it's easy to get down and say, walk around all the time like it's the worst thing in the world. And that just perpetuates, when you have like a negative seed, it really does grow and it branches out, and then it gets on other folks around you. But the only way to combat negativity is with positivity. So I mean, if you can just stay up, realize the position that you're in. I mean, my goodness, you're a professional musician, you get paid to play music. I mean, there's really, the only thing that I could think would be better is getting paid to be a race car driver. I mean, that's the only thing that I would put it up at that level, passionate wise, is it's, you just can't lose that perspective. So just realize it's a gift and take it for all it's worth.
Yes, sir. And Kimo, I love you, man, and you're such a great guy, and man, and I hope that this podcast goes. I hope this friendship goes beyond this podcast, man. And you're such a great guy. And whenever you're in Spokane, Washington, we need to plan a show out here with the Alabama guys. And next time you guys play the Northern Quest Casino, because I know you guys did that one a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Hit me up and I'll come out there and do live coverage of the show, man.
Absolutely. But I mean, we haven't been out west for several years now. I think since before COVID, if I'm not mistaken, we haven't gotten farther than Colorado, I believe. So it's probably about time. I haven't seen the whole schedule for the year, but you're pretty darn lovable, Caden. I mean, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you got the Titans hat on there. You're rocking the stuff. I mean, we'll definitely keep in touch, man. And I'll probably get out there with my band this year sometime too. So I'll definitely reach out to you and say,
Yeah.
hey.
And I'll do coverage of your band too, because your band, it's not just about those big names, it's about everybody, because it really is a team effort and a teamwork, and I love your mindset of is you can do it. You just got to stay positive, man.
That's right.
That's why you got to do what you got to do, man. And if you want to,
That,
and if you want to do it for the money, go be a banker. You can work with money all day long.
yeah. That's 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 pretty sound advice there, man. You just touch that stuff all day, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You love money, go be a banker. But you can be around that green stuff all day long, boys.
Yes,
I ain't
sir.
even messing with you. But
Yes, sir.
Kimo, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. And we'll do this here a few months from now and get an update from you guys out
Come
there.
on, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. And Merry Christmas and happy birthday to you, my friend.
Well, thank you, and thank you guys so much for making this shirt, making the podcast grow this year, and really just opening my heart to this new podcast. Thanks to my main man Jeff Panzer, who gave me he basically recommended that I change the name. Don't forget that our giveaway is going on. Just comment who you want to see on the show, and no, it can't be you. I'm just kidding. It could be whoever you want, and just if they have a story, if they have experience in anything, shoot me a line down there in those comment sections. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like it, and let me know what you guys think, and we'll do more giveaways of this. Maybe next time it will be cooler. Maybe a William Lee Golden's and the Goldens t-shirt. Huh?
That'd be cool. That'd be
I didn't say
awesome.
anything at all.
Yeah.
Kimo, thank you
Yeah,
again,
bud.
buddy.
I'm trying to catch up to William Lee here. I think if I had the rest of another 40 years to grow it, I wouldn't match him.
You know, nobody can grow Golden's beard, man.
Wow, boy, that's epic, isn't it?
That William Lee Golden, he's one of the greatest guys in country music. All of the Oak Ridge boys are Joe and Dwayne and Richard. They are all great guys, and those guys are some of the greatest guys ever.
Chris is a real sweetheart too.
Chris
Yeah.
and Rusty and
Yeah.
Craig, he drives buses.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to William Lee Golden and the Goldens. Also don't forget to check out Danny Stefanetti's Danny Speakings on Facebook Live on Fridays 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, and then 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, and or 7:30 and then 6:30 Eastern Standard Time or something like that. But Kimo, thank you again, buddy. We love you.
Yes, sir. Talk to you later, bud.
Yes, sir.